So, if the CPL is competitive with the MLS and the CPL is broadcast in Africa, Asia, South America, and the UK, why is there zero coverage on TSN and Sportsnet? Is this something to do with money? Put on your tinfoil hats and let's look at ownership. If you look on Wikipedia, Sportsnet is owned by Rogers Sports and Media. They also own City TV. TSN is owned by Bell Media and also ESPN, which, by the way, is controlled by Disney. They also own CTV. What else does Bell and Rogers own? Rogers and Bell, together with Larry Tannenbaum, owned MLSE, Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment. MLSE owned the Toronto Maple Leafs, Toronto Raptors basketball, Toronto Argonauts in the Canadian Football League, and Toronto FC in the MLS, Major League Soccer. Rogers also owned the Toronto Blue Jays. Rogers and Bell owned the Big Toronto teams and TSN and Sportsnet. On September 17th, 2024, 2 days ago, and after this video was first recorded, Bell sold its shares of MLSE to Rogers. Rogers is now the majority shareholder of MLSE and all the big Toronto teams. But up until now, Rogers and Bell owned MLSE and were trying to make some money. How? Subscriptions, advertising, selling tickets to games, and team merchandising. They owned both the product and broadcasting for the Toronto teams. TSN and Sportsnet were not really unbiased sports news stations. They were more like infomercials. I thought of the shopping channel, then I thought I was being cynical, then I found out Rogers actually owns the shopping channel. So, there you go. Being owners of the MLSE teams, naturally, they promoted their own teams and leagues. And naturally, they wanted to eliminate the competition. Competition like the Canadian Premier League. That explains why they gave the CPL zero coverage. They gave them zero oxygen and let nature take its course. So, don't be surprised if you do not hear one word about the CPL from the Rogers companies, Sportsnet and City TV. Unless, of course, a CPL team is playing the MLSE-owned Toronto FC. But now that Bell has sold MLSE and they no longer have a vested interest in those teams and leagues, let's hope TSN and CTV cover the Canadian Premier League. To test this idea, look at Global TV. Global isn't owned by Rogers or Bell. They are owned by the family that once owned Shaw Media. Global used to have sports shows, but over the years they have gotten out of that sector. Now they just have a sports section in the news. To be honest, Global sports coverage isn't that good. On their sports website, they cover NHL, Blue Jays, Raptors, CFL, and golf. They provide their own articles, but for scores and standings, they redirect you to the league's webpage. So it redirects to the Major League Baseball website for Blue Jays scores. But look what you get when you search Canadian Premier League. Holy smokes. Kelowna hosts Calgary versus Vancouver. Forge opens seasons against Cavalry. Sergio Camargo. Halifax Wanderers. Actual CPL stories. And recent stories. Better than TSN or Sportsnet. I would say Global provides unbiased sports news without the conflict of interest that the MLSE broadcasters have. Well done, Global. What about the elephant in the room? What about the CBC? Again, the CBC Sports website isn't that good. And if you search Canadian Premier League, you only get 5-year-old articles. Shame on you, CBC. No excuse. Besides Rogers, Bell, and Shaw, there is another telecommunication giant, mostly in Western Canada, Telus. They don't have a TV station like the others, but what are they doing? Well, quite a bit. Telus is a major sponsor of the CPL, and they provide One Soccer on Channel 9E on their cable TV package. Their website could use some work, but well done, Telus. There you have it. If you want to watch games, you can subscribe to One Soccer, Fubo, or Telus. If you don't want to subscribe, but still want to follow the CPL, you can watch highlights on the One Soccer YouTube channel. For commentary and analysis on the CPL and Canadian soccer, I would recommend One Soccer, JJTV on YouTube, the Northern Football Podcast, and the Footy Prime Podcast. And shout out to YouTubers On the Rise, Ultimate Soccer Show, and Afrikaans. And there are excellent regional podcasts as well. Even some shows that never end. And let's hope TSN starts covering the CPL. That's it. Thank you for watching. Ciao for now. And allez les rouges.